on the team in a lot of the games.
FBI,
sometimes you know, you had the FBI Senna game and the Ignar, you know, Alistar game and stuff. But in general, Photon performs quite well, you know, for Dignitas, and so I do like that they're investing already in Surdy here with the draft.
Yeah.
Give him his first pick, Rumble. Say, okay, let's see what you've got.
He's in the pressure seat because this is the playoff race, the playoff bubble, as it were. But they're locking in Rumble. First pick for Surdy, trying to get him that power pick early on. Let's see how Dignitas wants to react if they go for an early top lane counter pick, or if they want to lock in something more standard in the bot lane, expecting Ashe to be paired with the Seraphine, as that will be what FBI and Ignar can pilot now.
Yeah, you don't need to rush into top lane counter picks because you could just play, you know, Gallia or Ornn or whatever as well into the Rumble, and why not invest in the hottest duo of the current meta? I feel like Ashe and Seraphine here. You know, Karma's already banned out and Varus was banned out, so you know, I'm definitely a huge fan of this combo. I'm such a fan that I want it to get nerfed.
I feel like that's a hater, Kobe.
Yeah, but we position ourselves as fans.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
you give
caster.
them more of a spotlight. You talk about them a lot. So you're like, hey, they're really
Hey, Freak, have you seen how good Ashe and Seraphine look together? Yeah, exactly.
Oftentimes, too, you know, we just saw Ashe Seraphine with an Ornn, Ashe Seraphine with lots of these team fight combos. Getting a very big front line is critical as well. They're going to, looks like, opt for the Skarner here into the Xin, who is always interesting.
No, they pivot. It's
just
Ornn
because Xin is oftentimes used as a counter pick into it. And we did mention the Ornn previously as we were talking about Ashe and Seraphine, and it looks like they're going to go with the same formula. I mean, I talked about this multiple times, but after Team Liquid do it, you know, Spawn was literally like, yeah, I mean, these are our best champions, and so we didn't even have to do much. So they've got the Ashe, they've got the Seraphine, they have the Ornn. Then you look for, you know, what Team Liquid did it, they were doing a lot of Yone games with it. Palafox could do that because, you know, he's often been, you know, one of those melee mid lane players and looks for, you know, engaged mid lane champions. But it's into a Ryze, so I don't think that's gonna, you know, happen this time around. They'll go for something else, and then you get a jungle with some carry potential for eXyu to round it out that can really, you know, thrive in some extended long team fights.
Something that can elongate the Seraphine ultimate as well. And I gotta say, we just saw Sentinels pull off a very similar draft, and they got the victory just earlier, a few minutes ago. So already Dignitas drafting a core of that. Now mid lane, we're looking for a little more damage here, either through eXyu or Palafox. It's looking like with this hover, it could be more facilitating from Palafox, but then we'll see what they decide to actually lock in, as it's Taliyah for Palafox.
Yeah, Taliyah always was a pretty common matchup with Ryze. One of Palafox's best champions, I feel like, over the long course of his entire career. And definitely some good combos, because Taliyah, you always want setup. There's plenty of CC on this team. We're going to get the Deathfire Touch Smolder. This thing is all the rage in solo queue. The Black Cleaver just stacks up with the Deathfire Touch. Plays into Smolder's poke pattern really well, and yeah, that's what we're gonna get here for Sajed, who you always want to highlight his team fighting, and Smolder kind of plays into that too. Farm up down there and stack up, and then get to the point where you can, you know, execute the Ornn.
I will say, not a lot of hard engage on the side of DSG, though, and a lot on the side of Dignitas, as it's Vi locked in for eXyu. So between the arrow, the Ornn Horn, the Vi ultimate, the Seraphine, like, they have ways to start off these fights. DSG is going to be playing more on the kind of reactive side, just looking at the comps.
Well, and they also, for DSG's side, they do have a lot of early power and skirmishing power. So you want, like, smaller fights with Xin and Ryze, you know, having really good possibilities themselves. Xin, especially for the jungle matchup here, a lot more early game than Vi. You can oftentimes go for invades on the Vi. You can force early dragon fights and skirmishes. And you want to try and get some of these leads out of these, like, you know, skirmishes or earlier isolated plays before you get the big grouping. And then you get this team fight of the Ashe Seraphine with, you know, Ornn coming through. And it's just like, this crazy big wall that you have to get through.
So who's going to help him out? Which lane are we looking to back up the Zhao going aggressive?
Lane.
Solo lane.
Yes, you're not going to the Smolder lane.
No, you're going to let that guy stack?
No, Xin invading Vi. You've got a Rumble pushing for you topside, and you have a Ryze to play off mid lane. So I definitely expect that to be the angle that eXyu does go for. And Surdy, we were talking about him. He's the talk of the town with the trade being the big news for the entire league right before the roster lock. And Surdy here filling Castle's place that he left on DSG after heading out for Lion. He's got a Rumble into Ornn matchup. Very nice and easy for him, especially with the new Deathfire touch. You can put out a lot of pressure. That rune, of course, you want to keep the burn up as much as possible so you can get the empowered burn.
Here's a reminder, though, in case you were not caught up on the Surdy lore as to his story and journey, as we see a slight trade in the mid lane there. Surdy replaced by Photon.
Yeah, they're still going.
They're still going for it.
Popping some Ghost.
Yeah. But if you missed it there on the side because you're watching the fight, basically Surdy kind of replaced by Photon. So he's going up against the guy that took his seat on Dignitas when he was kind of the starter for them in the LTA. And it was fun hearing him in that interview saying, I've never actually started in the LCS. He was in the LTA. It was a different named league. So welcome to the LCS, Surdy.
Yeah, and does get to play the Ornn on the top side. Lots of heavy trading on bottom side too. So both junglers actually heading down towards bottom. Of course, Dignitas with the advantage of the hawk shot. Will be able to get the extra information as well. And then you have the Raptor ward that DSG were able to put. So they will just surmise it's also top-down clears for both of them. And I want to see how heavy the trading does go. I mean, they do have the extra sustain here, so chugging potion for Sajed as well as the Nami heals coming through. And as we said, the hawk shot is the early easy cheat, so you get perfect timing on the Xin clear that is coming towards you and can play accordingly.
And all the lanes from top to bottom so far slight pushes for Dignitas. We see the Ornn pushing in the Rumble. We see the Ashe Seraphine pushing in Sajed and Lyonz, who we have seen happen more often than not as junglers are heading to the bot side. So that kind of raises the question because Castle, the desk was talking about this. Who's going to step up on the side of DSG, Kobe? Because Castle was the bright spot. If you looked at an average gold distribution for this team, he was the only one ahead. So we actually want to ask chat, who's going to step up and be that next carry? And I'm going to ask you, Kobe, do you think it's going to be KryRa, Callme, or Sajed? Which is the most likely on DSG's side?
I think Callme. I actually think Callme is quite decent. And Quad was talking about him specifically on pros, and he was talking about how he is a better laner for this matchup. Quad was predicting that DSG are going to have an advantage because of that mid lane power, and he's got the Ryze. I just feel like Ryze, ever since they introduced Actualizer, this champ can pump.
Yeah, that 3-item spike is crazy.
Later on, it gets crazy, and since you have the Xin as your jungler, I feel like there's a lot of potential there for early skirmishes.
Surdy getting a big chunk on a Photon in the 1v1 topside. KryRa's nearby. Potential for a dive as another wave's going to come in here. So who knows? Maybe it's actually the top lane that's going to keep carrying as FBI also gets chunked out there by Sajed. And it looks like chat has answered. It is Sajed that chat believes in and has faith in. 0% for KryRa. That's crazy. Wow.
People hate junglers, dude. Also, sometimes it's like, oh, you said it, and maybe they don't know how to spell it or something. But no, it's probably because a lot of people have played against the Deathfire Touch Black Cleaver Smolders that have been running around or flying around. And they already announced that the interaction is going to get nerfed or toned down, give a little internal cooldown. But it's definitely fun, and it's cool to see. So we'll keep track of Sajed's stacking and see how well he's able to keep on pace, because it's not the easiest of lanes. It's kind of annoying with the poke.
And I'll say this has been a conversation we've talked about a lot when it comes to Sajed and Lyonz. The laning phase, they have been falling behind. It's later in the game where we really see them step up and start to have a bigger impact. I think they get a little more of a pass this laning phase around, because we do expect the Smolder to be more of that scaling pick. That's a nice look back from Palafox there to Callme. Some more trading in the mid lanes, but the other one's going to go down.
All right. I mean, it's actually a big battle because getting the vision control for mid lane when you've got these junglers is critical. So eXyu's just going to slip on over there, finish the job, take out the other control ward. So everybody will be blind. And Callme's like, all right, fine. I'm just going to hover this top side of the lane. I know that you were just down there. eXyu's not clearing his Krugs either, not completing his second clear. So he went for the recall after clearing that ward to go for his purchase first for his tunneler and his extra control ward. And he's going to go into a Krugs and maybe bottom side trailing play. He's going to have a little bit of time after that here. The Scuttle Crab, unfortunately for us, we like to see the fights that are on the bottom half of the map, but it is spawning on the top side. So, you know, after resetting here, Hawkshot is going to see KryRa finishing Gromp and heading towards, you know, the river and quite possibly up to grab the Scuttle Crab, whereas eXyu is going to hover around here. They did get the little trailing vision on KryRa with that Hawkshot, and so it's keeping them guessing a little bit as far as where he went after the upper river.
And control ward by DSG will spot eXyu now, so this is perfect information for KryRa to just take that top Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, and he was already beeline for that. He doesn't want to mess around, I think, with the Ashe Seraphine bottom lane. And eXyu's going to focus on the dragon stacking here quite nicely. Vi very good at taking them. And here we go, Realm Warp to contest it. How quickly can he finish?
KryRa and Callme are coming very fast. Level 6 for KryRa, level 5 for eXyu. They're into the pit and it's stolen! KryRa and Callme, the combo 2v1 will get first blood and a dragon steal.
Chat was right.
Yeah?
When we immediately went to them, there was 0%. Wait a second.
Even get flash out of Palafox. Yeah, they're looking for more.
But then you saw, after they had some time to vote, some votes for KryRa started to come in. So
put some respect on the jungler, Kobe.
They realized, you know, like, oh, okay, maybe it will be jungle stepping up. This one, I give, like, points to both, though. You know, my boy Callme here that we're kind of voting for with the Realm Warp. The plan is coordinated, and they get the level 6 off the Scuttle Crab, so then you know you can win this fight, and they use the Realm Warp to get here in time. Just works out perfectly, and then the level 6 is used there to, well, I guess they didn't even need it, but flashes traded, and they both flash afterwards to chase down eXyu. So nicely done there.
I believe eXyu smited it to 20 HP on the dragon. Really close margins right there. But yeah, I love that combo from Callme and KryRa. You get level 6 off of that top Scuttle. You're gonna win the fight. And you had already highlighted, Kobe, that Zhao can just do this anyway. So now that KryRa is, you know, a couple camps ahead, has that assist, also gets the dragon steal, things are looking pretty good for DSG when it comes to their jungle in mid laner.
And this is the quote I was talking about when Quad was asked about this matchup from Emily, and it is positive, okay? Even though it sounds funny.
Why are we highlighting the top half and not the bottom half, Kobe?
Yeah. Well, he also said, I think the initial phrase was doesn't know how to like play the game afterwards, but he was highlighting that the overall point was that both these teams don't have the best macro, but Callme's laning is superior, and so that's why, from a mid lane perspective, he was favoring DSG and Callme because of that factor. And this wasn't necessarily laning; it was coordination with the jungle and kind of jungle plan playing around the level 6 off Scuttle Crab.
Hey, pre-level or pre-8 minutes, technically in the laning phase. So there we go. Maybe a little column A, a little column B. Either way, it's a lead for DSG now, as it's 2.5 minutes for that next dragon. Grubs are on the table, but neither jungler seems to be looking at them right now.
And speaking of leads, the Ashe Seraphine, Kangas, have a over 500 gold, almost 600 for FBI lead down there with their turret plate that they've been able to take. Turret plates, as they got 2 of them, as well as the CS lead. And so bottom lane will continue to be the focus for Dignitas here.
Looks like a dive. I mean, eXyu has cease and desist available. They're clearing out the control ward. eXyu's not spotted on it, so DSG know that this is happening. So Palafox actually even spots out Callme. Ashe arrow will go a little wide as the Weaver's Ball does not cancel the Realm Warp. Callme is able to get out of there. So no dive. All right, Sajed and Lyonz, they have even the backup of their jungler and mid laner ready to come in on a moment's notice if that dive came through. So good hesitation there from Dig to say, nope, let's not hard force the play.
Yeah, and honestly, like the plans that we mentioned where for eXyu. You know, you're trying to cover basically. You're trying to scale up with this team. It's going quite well for DSG, for KryRa's side. He's just pushing it harder. You know, able to make that Scuttle Crab play, get the dragon. You know, play off his solo lanes that we were looking for KryRa. He grabs a grub for himself too, and I think this is well paced. Basically, they're like, you know what, bottom lane, just try and stack and farm. We know Ashe Seraphine is annoying.
Yeah. Hang tight, you'll scale.
His stacks aren't that bad. It's fine. 69 at the moment.
Nice stacks.
Working towards, thank you. Working towards a decent pace. If you're playing double range lanes down there, it's not going to be you know, the quickest, not being able to stack up off like a melee support or something.
And again, you are going to be scaling, getting those stacks of Smolder, and the top half of the map is what's keeping DSG kind of in this, because Surdy subbing in, you know, first game now on the LCS stage. We know he played on LTA last year versus Photon today, though, is also getting himself a very large lead just when it comes to CS in the laning phase. So it kind of, it's bot side winning for DIG, but top side winning for DSG, making it a very equal game as Lyonz taking some damage. Has to flash from the seismic shove and the arrow.
All right, Nami will be vulnerable, but I mean, the first dragon, since it was kind of stolen away by DSG, there's a lot less of the threat of the big, you know, Ashe Seraphine combo with no Ashe arrow down at the moment. You still have your Seraphine ult, but their positioning's not great, and their, you know, vision, their entry is going to be difficult. So DSG should be able to finish the one, no problem. Surdy walks his way down here, and he can just walk his way right back up the top lane. Don't think he's going to actually lose that much CS either. Ornn trying to push the lane in now, but Surdy does have a blast cone to pop over the wall too, so good rotations here. DSG, the game plan being executed very, very well. You know, like we said, KryRa, play off your solo lanes, just let your bottom lane tough it out, farm and stack down there. And he was even able to get more control over the neutral objectives than even initially thought.
Now we have another dive attempt, potentially, but Sajed actually backs all the way off, and eXyu throws up the angry monkey. So just more plates on the bottom turret going over to FBI.
They're going to blast on him.
1.4K.
Okay.
Yeah, ball breaker, eXyu gets out. He's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty deep in there. Honestly, for DIG, they're just like, all right, hunker down, and you know, keep on farming. We'll try and group up for our team fights later.
Yeah, I mean, with that power spike for FBI, he has the Kraken Slayer completed. 4 of the plates taken, 1.4K. That's a big goal lead, Kobe, considering there's been no kills in the bottom side of the Rift.
That's their hope. That is the hope here for DIG. They need that damage output for these team fights. Again, they're going to find their big strength once they group up. They do have the possibilities. Like the early game, they could have maybe looked for some Vi and Taliyah combos. You always have the guaranteed Vi ult into seismic shove combo. But because, you know, eXyu got chased out and killed off that early dragon and lost flash as well, you can't really go for, you know, vault breaker flash plays, and so they didn't really have a great look to go for on Callme. So everyone's keeping their summoner spells, so nice stuff here for DSG.
Ooh. After
the trade and bringing in Surdy.
We have Vault Breaker being channeled by eXyu right now. Gets in range to land the ultimate onto Sajed, layer the CC, but he's able to flash cleanse, get out of there. Sajed survives the attempt in the mid lane. Dignitas threw a lot of ults at that.
Yeah, and then Ignar did the ult flash to try and chase down and connect on him, and also not able to connect on that one. So that is a very big timing window for DSG to avoid death. Vi ultimate and Seraphine flash ultimate down now. So even Lyonz, even without his flash on Nami, feels confident to poke around for vision here in the territory afterwards, because like there's no Vi ultimate that's going to punish me, and helps out a lot with the breathing room here. So you can look ahead towards your next dragon already for DSG. keep a very quick pace about it for themselves.
The only thing I'll say is DSG won't have that Smolder flash for that Dragon fight if they try and continue stacking themselves. So I think that's one of those moments where Dignitas, they don't get the kill there, but they got the flash, which means that the next play, we're going to have to keep our eyes on Sajed's positioning because now he could be in more danger.
Yeah, simultaneously, Seraphine is really squishy in the early game, and so Ignar attempting the ult flash and not connecting, you can drop, you know, Rumble ultimate and like, you know, Xin looking to get on the Seraphine. Ignar's positioning also has to be a little careful too. She usually, though, you can stay pretty far back and just like bounce your ult off someone's head.
Let the Vi go in, yeah.
Here we go for a lane gank though.
Callme alone in lane right now. eXyu jumps forward, but he has KryRa in his back pocket. Speaking of a flashless Seraphine, there's a kill to KryRa.
There you go. They punish it. The offensively used flash down here for Seraphine, so it's a nice little camp from KryRa. Control it in the Pixel Brush. They thought that they were pulling off a lane gank surprise onto Callme, but the Vault Breaker didn't even touch him, and he just kind of walks away, and he already had counters ready. They get the kill, they get the objective. Kangas, DSG, they didn't slow down at all. They pick up Surdy, and they are full steam ahead, just crushing the early stages of this game versus DIG.
And remember that this is the race for the last 2 playoff spots. The top 4 are locked. They're going to be fighting for seeding, but these teams are fighting to make it in. If DSG take this series win, Sentinels are big fans. We talked about that in the last series. That means that they lock in. Dignitas, they have to win 2 series in a row. They have this one versus DSG and then Sentinels next week. And if they want a chance at making playoffs, prove that those couple of games they got against the top 3 teams weren't just flukes, they have to show up. And so far, in game number 1, it's DSG with the advantage.
Yeah, Dignitas, a must-win scenario for them if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. And the Black Cleaver, Deathfire Touch Smolder combo we were talking about is getting closer and closer.
Arrow goes wide, teleport in from the mid lane, or into the mid lane rather, as that is Photon showing up to stop the Herald from connecting. Surdy's still in the top lane pushing that wave in. The Dragon has spawned, so DSG, they might just forego the fight for more gold onto the Rumble. It's going to slow down their Dragon Soul Stag, but no, they do TP Surdy in now. He will get the turret and now join up for a potential team fight. Call the Forge got used. KryRa trying to duck around it, throws up the Crescent Guard. It's Photon engaging onto him, but the ultimate will answer all the damage. As eXyu Vault Breaker's away, the Dragon still up for either team to go for. Equalizer available for Surdy. No Call the Forge God available for Photon, as now the tidal wave will go out, only land onto the tank. Weaver's Wall back up for Palafox. Blocking off multiple members from DSG, because now they have the access point for the Dragon, but in goes eXyu, does not land the Vault Breaker. KryRa answering back, flashes, does not get over the wall. Now Vault Breaker's to safety, but eXyu's chunked. I don't think there's a chance at a contest. That is a Dragon earn for DSG.
Yeah, DSG, nice grouping from them. Getting the cooldowns out, then repositioning, and honestly, after you go for that little attempted surprise play and you kind of whiff there on the side of Dignitas, pretty easy for KryRa and DSG to secure Dragon Soul point. Nicely done from them. Also, I will say, most pro Xin players talk about they don't like you know, Titanic Hydra build, and they almost always go for Sundered Sky.
For junglers?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Xin players. And for solo queue, I am a huge fan of Titanic Hydra, just because I love the auto attack reset and burst. And it doesn't put as much emphasis on stacking your Q on other stuff before you go for the triple Q play.
True, yeah.
But I do enjoy when we do get to see it here. And KryRa, you know, it gives you very good on-hit damage. The auto attack reset is super nice. For if you haven't been able to fully pre-stack your Q or anything. Obviously, you can get it off very quickly. So I like that, because a lot of the pro junglers are very, very much Sundered Sky lovers for a good reason. I mean, they give you crazy sustain.
In fact, I can't remember last time we didn't see it built first as Bop, he takes a solo kill. I guess an assist to Lyonz for throwing out some healing there, but KryRa finding the avenue onto Palafox in the jungle and utilizing that attack reset pretty well, Kobe.
Big damage.
Yeah.
Also, flashing the seismic shove. KryRa's like, you are dead, buddy. You know where you are going. So I don't know. Maybe we rerun that poll. Because I think...
Who's going to step up?
I think even though I initially voted for Callme, I think KryRa is looking like the biggest, new step-up carry here for DSG. Since they both get points for the early Scuttle Crab Rumble play.
50-50.
And then KryRa's been very aggressive. He also like pre-ulted when the Ornn was going to ult him, make sure he doesn't, present any sort of target. He kind of has juked eXyu a lot and chased eXyu down in the Dragon Pit, so.
Going for a very unique build as well, KryRa here with the Blasting
Dusk
Wand.
and Dawn, baby.
Dusk and Dawn, yeah, the change on it. Why build Sundered Sky when you can get Divine Sunderer back, essentially,
Damn it.
KryRa right now getting engaged on himself. We were talking about how good he was doing. He's charmed up, but he's fighting his way out of it. Not enough to get an answer of a kill, but there comes the damage from Sajed. The Smolder ultimate will answer 1-for-1 support for jungler.
Yeah, the Smolder mom over the top does get it. So even though KryRa goes down, honestly, that's pretty good. Get Smolder a kill.
Mother's Day is tomorrow, but today Smolder's mom showed up.
Yeah, there you go. And he's got his, Black Cleaver done that we're talking about for the quickly stacking burn there. And so part of the reason behind why I love this build so much for Xin, they did buff up the AP ratios for Xin, which is super nice. But really, Dusk and Dawn, when you get the extra passive of Titanic Hydra, that counts as well. So you get Xin passive and you can get that passive, procking real quick. And the burst damage when you have that Sheen proc off the Dusk and Dawn and you have the auto attack reset for the Titanic is just way more fun, okay? You have big burst damage,
I'm a fan
it's way
of fun.
more fun, and you get a lot of sustain too. With Sundered Sky, you get the sustain on one item. With this, you get it on
Kinda
two
delay
items
it,
with
but
the extra passive.
it's still very strong.
Yeah, exactly. It's still very strong, and I'm a fan.
It's also, I'm always a fan of the funny thing. And anytime I see AP items built on a champion that typically does not build AP, I'm like, that's kind of funny. I like that. That's good stuff right there.
Now, what you would really like, Kangas, and I don't think is going to happen, but if he built a static Shiv third, then you would, I presume you would be extremely
I would be very
happy with
excited about that. Yeah, just really spread
then,
that DPS.
Yeah, because then you get the static Shiv procs through minion waves. Like the healing is super crazy and it's funny to watch. I don't think he's going to, but I'm just putting it out there.
Okay.
It's a possibility.
Floating it into the world.
Because that is also, if we're going fun and we're judging by fun, that is really, really fun.
And also judging by just a kind of turnaround for KryRa here, as we'll get back to that because we have 30 seconds for the Dragon. He still has to show up. The game's not won yet. He's at the 2-item spike, but so is eXyu. And currently Dignitas control the access point to the Dragon. Surdy's all the way in the top lane, has the teleport available if he wants to look for it. But just pushes the wave in, and now we'll channel TP into the mid lane, straight to the turret, very defensive. And it looks like DSG will look to approach through the mid lane.
All right, this is our big moment for Dignitas. We've been talking about their 5-on-5 group team fight all game long. They've got the position, Photon in front with the big shield. Palafox trying to do some poke damage. They're giving up mid lane priority to do this. DSG are going to get that priority and take the tower. And still have time to Realm Warp in.
Sending KryRa in alone, throws up the Crescent Guard, but everyone's inside the circle, getting the damage down. Equalizer to trade it back, and KryRa just won't go down. He's healing too much. The 2-item spike comes online. Double kill to Surdy as Dignitas get roasted at the Dragon fight. That's sold to DSG.
Honestly, Kangas, wrap it up. DSG have slammed Dignitas in game number 1. Dragon Soul and Baron and fun builds and
look at how long he lives here. I mean, if you're inside the Crescent Guard, you're doing damage. But he just heals through it.
So they've got the Vi and the Ornn inside. He was able to ult Palafox out to the edge. And
that's like 800 healing. And
you get big damage, you get big healing procs, and the rest of the team, honestly, just everyone's smurfing on their opponents here.
I also love that on that reaction cam, it was Surdy popping off, and everybody else was still like serious. They're like, look, man, playoffs aren't secured.
Surdy, yeah, but Surdy's like, I'm here, and I am. Maybe I'll edit.
Yeah, choose your words wisely here,
I am
Kobe.
doing well against our opponents, our
don't
honorable opponents.
Yeah.
I am doing very successfully in my first game. Feels good, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Reminder that today it's the battle of the last 2 playoff spots, but highlight tomorrow. That's a big match as well. So mark your calendars there for Team Liquid versus Lyonz. Yeah. There's a lot of fun matches. The last 2 weeks of LCS, this split are a treat because it's either who's going to make playoffs or who's the top dogs. Really, really fun stuff.
Love it. You know, there's stakes and there's pressure for both sides in 2 different directions. And Dignitas' direction right now is further to the bottom. They're
Straight
already
down.
at the bottom,
Yeah.
and they're looking like they're going further down.
They're always good for 1 game, but so far they have not been able to get that series. Right now they're looking for a pick here onto KryRa. He's got 30 in his back pocket, then again is just healing. Too much vanity. They cannot kill this guy. Now the engage comes back in onto FBI. That is 3 picked up for DSG. You cannot keep the Zhao down with this build. DSG with the Dragon Soul and a wave in the bot lane will take down Photon and look to close out game number 1.
Yeah, they're going to leave no doubt in anyone's mind. Game 1 is all DSG all the way. 30's back, and he gets a little taste of revenge against Dignitas.
Well-fought game. DSG controlled it from the get-go. From the 2v2 play in the mid lane for that first dragon to now the game end. DSG will take game number 1.
And my player of the game is KryRa. I think
Boom.
he is the answer to that poll. He stepped up the most, and he did my personal favorite builds that I like to use too.
He didn't even have time to build a static shift. He probably would have. You know, in my head canon,
Guys, you
he
go
was gonna
Guardian
build
Angel
it.
after.
No,
It's pro play. You need that Guardian Angel. You need that team fight win. And Lounge, do you think Dignitas have even a chance in this series now?
That's a little
Wow,
grim.
that's
Callme.
dire.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, they have a chance.
Callme.
They got 2 more games, brother.
Whoa!
Wow.